24s around the edge. I'm Tom Allis, owner here at Edge Home Finance, and this year we want to diversify things a little bit. We've had guests on from originators, real estate agents, but as you know, in the mortgage world, your network is your net worth. And today I have a guest that's going to talk a lot about net worth and what his specialty is, but he's also been a financial advisor to me and a friend for over the last 20 years. And even though this is something he probably isn't greatly proud of, he also was an originator at one time back in our career as we worked together for a company called All Cities. And it was a really good experience. I'd like everybody to meet Mr. Leif Briel. Leif, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tom. Pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you. I know I've watched your life progress from, starting out in the financial advisement world. You went with Northwestern Mutual, really started a great career and outworked. I think that's the one thing, regardless of what industry you're in, nobody's going to give you anything. You have to work for it. And I've watched you work and build an empire at a company that, in my opinion, probably wasn't your best fit. But it was the right at that time, right? So walk us through that a little bit. Tell me, for one, when you decided to get out of mortgages and go into that field, what did that look like for you, and what were the goals that you were hoping to accomplish?
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, thinking about the mortgage industry, I was with you at All Cities really when that big meltdown happened. And I wanted to be in an industry where, people need help whether the economy is good or bad.
Yeah.
So getting in the financial space, Northwestern Mutual is one of the few broker dealers out there that still has a robust recruiting and development program. So you're able to plug in, they give you access to investment resources, insurance resources, office, mentoring, branding, et cetera. But ultimately it's up to you to really try to find what's best for your clients.
Yep.
They have a great program to plug into ultimately, but if I want to bring the customized investment management, insurance solutions that are more appropriate for that client, it was up to me to go get it. As you said, it's not going to come to you. They're not going to bring it to you. You got to go get it.
No, that's how it is. And, the tough part, I would say, where our industries are very similar, cold calling doesn't really work, right? I mean, it's something to me as a professional. I don't want to call people up randomly. We have grown and thrive in our business for both of us, myself as an originator, you as a financial advisor, is really building circles, right? 100%. And I think that's something you and I even did. We went out one time and I think we shot guns, right? It was kind of fun. We went to a gun range and you introduced me to a gentleman that was an attorney. We had a couple of attorneys there, now I think about it, but I still talk with them to this day. And more importantly, I've done business with them.
Right.
So, for originators out there, if you're looking this year to expand your business, look at creating these circles. These were fun things. When Leif and I went and had these meetings, it wasn't we sat down there and grilled them. He wasn't asking them who held their investments or whatever. It's about really getting to know the people that you're around, because the core fundamental of referral sales is somebody has to know, like, and trust you. And before you even ask for the business, and I think a lot of people try to jump to just closing the deal right out of the gate, right? Like, okay, hey, I know you need this, I'm selling it. Yes, there's a point of being aggressive to let people know what you do, but I think a lot of people miss out on really what the key attribute is for our industries, which is natural connections, right? So for you going forward now, because you started your own business, right? Mm-hmm. You launched a new company. What is the name of the company?
We launched Endeavor. We do financial planning and customized wealth management.
Okay, so you're focusing now more on wealth management compared to where Northwestern Mutual was primarily, insurance, right? Whether it was disability or income protection, life insurance, both term and whole.
Right.
So now, you're advancing and looking at wanting to get into, started your own company, and, congratulations for that, because it takes, it takes grit and it takes somebody that's willing to bet on themselves.
And we're in the thick of it right now.
Yeah.
It takes time to bring clients over, reach them and whatnot, but you hit the nail on the head. I look at insurance, it's difference in philosophy. Insurance policies are tools. You look at your financial picture, if there's a risk present in your plan that you can't self-manage, you transfer that risk to the insurance company. Whereas an insurance broker-dealer inherently is going to have that as a foundational piece. You're looking for an insurance sale really in every visit. And clients and customers see that. As you mentioned earlier, it's, we call it commission breath in the industry.
Yeah.
They can sense that.
Yep.
If you're not really working in their best interest, finding out what they're really looking for. And I found ultimately clients want to come and they want to talk about their long-term financial security. That means their investments.
Yep.
Let's try to be excellent there for them.
Yeah, makes sense. Ideally, I think a lot of people, and I'll just speak for myself, I have more hesitancy with financial planners than any other industry ever, because you're really exposing everything. And I think for a lot of people, that's scary. How do you overcome those hurdles? Like, even whether it's somebody that, yes, they know, like, and trust you, but what are some of the tools that you use to either, one, break down those barriers, or to allow people to even give you the opportunity to serve them?
I mean, a lot of it comes back just to listening and meeting them where they're at. There are times where you may sit down with someone, you can sense, you've got to read the person across the room. It may not even be time for them to talk about it.
Yeah.
Follow up with them in a couple of years, it might be better timing, but it's listening, hearing their story, and helping build a plan that's customized for them, not for the last 5 clients you talk to. And everybody's different. Everybody's got their own life experiences. And you mentioned something interesting before about referrals and working with people that you know, like, and trust. I've got 3 little kids at home. I could go on babysitters.com and find someone that has 1,000 positive reviews. But if my sister-in-law says, hey, call up Sally, she's the best.
Yep.
I'm probably calling up Sally.
100%.
That's just how it works. So.
Yeah. It's more, it's more trustworthy. You can, I don't want to say you can buy reviews, but you really can. Nowadays, you have to be skeptical, in my opinion, with anything, not only on the internet, but even from, both of our industries. Technology has advanced it, right? To where the reality is, if I wanted to buy an investment product, I could probably go do it.
Yep.
Right? I mean, from any one of them. And I think it's the same thing has happened on the mortgage side of it, to where, hey, I can just go and trust some random company with the largest financial decision of my life.
Right.
And some people do that. And to me, that's scary, because the reality is, when you're working with somebody that you trust, there's a level of accountability, right? And for me, my agents are my clients. Like, right. Yes, the consumer that we're helping get into a home is legally our client, but the reality is that's a single transaction. Right. To me, my referral source is who I view as my client, because if I screw up one transaction, I lost a lifeline of business, right? So I think it's the same thing when somebody actually passes their trust on to you and saying, hey, if you're really looking at financial planning from an asset management standpoint, I recommend Leif, and here's why, right? To where at that point, not only is your trust in there, they're going to do some research anyways, make sure, okay, does he have good reviews online? Is this somebody who has the right licensing or whatever? But I think this is the hardest part with AI coming into our industry, that it will not replace, right? Right. It will not replace that touch from where, hey, this is somebody who lives in my community, somebody who has 3 kids, who's a husband. I've got the privilege of meeting, because I think you have a lot of uncles, right? Don't you? Yeah, you have a lot of.
My mom's third of 10. So
yeah.
There's uncles, aunts, and cousins all over the place.
All over the place. And if I'm not mistaken, the cool part where, I've got to meet your dad. Your dad's a pastor, right?
Yep.
And just very involved, already naturally kind of plugged in to where your name, carries, I don't want to say come from a good line, if that sounds a little egotistical, but it's the truth, right?
I appreciate that.
Because I've never met anybody that said anything other than the fact that maybe, boy, all he sells is life insurance, right?
We've moved on from that.
But he fixed it, right? I mean, and I want to circle back a tad bit on that, because you mentioned to me, and I took it as a compliment, but you said, hey, a lot of the stuff that you're doing and talking about being independent really had you starting to think about why working for a large organization that's singularly focused. This is where our business aligns, right? For me, if my biggest task or my growth opportunity is hiring retail originators, and if you're stuck to one option, you're limited. And to me, like, what is the purpose of that? Is me as the individual, I don't want to be limited.
Right.
Well,
in watching your career, Tom, kudos to you. We've been friends a long time, and getting our start at All Cities, as you mentioned, it was 9 to 9, Monday through Thursday,
Oh,
right?
grind.
It was dial for dollars, as they said, and seeing where you've progressed. I've been watching over the last 5 years, just passively. Your brokers are better, and the reasoning behind that resonated. Different industry, but the exact same thing. I started auditing my business partners, the broker dealer, and no disrespect to Northwestern Mutual, they're a Fortune 100 company.
Yeah.
They're going to be around. They're a great company. They serve their purpose. But as an advisor who's attached to that broker dealer, I need to understand they are a business partner of mine. How much revenue are they taking? What am I getting in return?
Yeah.
Same thing with how I'm investing. What optionality are they giving me for my clients to invest? What is the cost of that? Can I actually bring to my clients what I think is a better solution or better solutions? Largely, the answer was no. I can stay in that system. I would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I was comfortable.
Yes.
Would have found success. But ultimately, I tell my kids, if you want to accomplish anything meaningful in life, you've got to get a little uncomfortable to do it.
Have to. You got to take some risk.
This is me getting uncomfortable, right?
That's it. I mean, it's a cheesy cliche, but because it's factual. There's
100%.
no comfort in the growth zone, right?
Right.
And it's tough. Like even for us right now, we're in the growth zone, right? We tripled last year in 2023. Now my goal this year is to double in transactions. More than it was. Last year was building a staff when it was ideal hiring time, right? You watched a market that was at a 28-year low in the mortgage industry. We did more business, closed more transactions then, but still wasn't relative to how many people that we hired. Well, that's because the market was there. Mm-hmm. This year, it's full steam ahead. Like we're working on systems to make sure as originators are coming over to Edge that your onboarding experience is smooth as could be. You have the training, you have the support. I like to keep things stupid simple, right? And you'll catch me with my cheesy cliches all the time. It's because they work, right? Keeping it stupid simple means I focus on we are in the business to sell money. We sell it cheaper, we close faster, and we pay more. And from that standpoint, you have to ask yourself, well, what am I missing? And that's why I hold our calls every Thursday and Tuesday. If you're interested, jump on one of those calls and see why it is Edge Home Finance has grown to be the #1 brokerage in the country from a shop that started, truly out of me and my partner's basement, right? We were both working smaller. We continued every year doing a little better and looking at the forward vision of what does that growth look like.
It's inspiring to see, and as a business owner myself, completely different industry, but as you mentioned, having a network out there of people you can lean on, get advice. What have you seen that's worked? What hasn't worked in building your business? And I can plug those things in. You can learn from that.
I'm going to get a little selfish here because I want to try to provide for my team. I think financial, there's a couple of people in networks that are not leveraged on how they should be. Financial advisors is one of them, and that's your specialty, right? I think divorce attorneys is another one.
Sure.
Builders that some people dig into, but not many. Let me just ask you, how many loan officers, because you know a lot of them because you used to work in the industry, how many have reached out to you to talk about, any sort of partnership or what they can do to help you grow your business?
Yeah, gosh, if you put my feet to the fire, I would say none.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I found a loan officer because I've been there as well, and so I understand the struggles and the successes, the highs and lows. And the market's good, you're crushing it. When it's down, it's feast or famine. My recommendation to loan officers is just slow down a little bit in life, reflect on what you need to be doing personally, because that will also, spill into what you tell your clients. When times are good, save.
Yeah.
Slow down. Don't just spend behind the hog. And when times are tough, you've prepared for that. It will ebb and flow. It'll continue to do so. Rates will come down. They'll go back up. So be prepared for it. But be an ancillary resource to your customers and clients too. And when you're looking at their finances, you're deep inside their finances to help sell a property or refinance your home. You see a lot that other people don't. You can see when there's opportunity. Aside from just selling a house, what if you introduce them to someone that was able to build out a financial plan or maybe is the right attorney that helped them get out of a pickle, whatever the case may be that resource.
Yeah.
It goes a lot farther than just doing the transaction.
And, to me, this is where, when you're reaching out to a financial advisor, of course you want to get business, right? That's why but the reality is when you grow business together, and I think Life's hitting on a very important topic that for myself I want to focus on this year. Not because I want to be a financial advisor. I do not want to be a financial advisor. That's why I hire good people like Life. But the reality is him and I have met, and when we met last time, I was like, hey, I need to figure out the best way to refer you. Let me show you something here, right? And if I just take an imaginary situation and say, hey, I have a client that has $10 million, and what am I looking for, right? And we walked through this, and it was like, okay, hey, do you see this account? This is like, who in the world has this much money just sitting in one of these types of accounts? What it allows us to do at that point is I can give a referral, right? I can say, hey, Mr. John Doe, as I'm going through, obviously, you sent me the documents, I'm going through it. I noticed you have, $2.5 million in a TSP fund, or just make up, I don't know what the name of the funds are. But to the point where I see your average return is this. Have you ever thought, or who is the one actually that you're having conversations about with this to see that you're not only getting the max tax value, but the max return on your dollar? And to me, that's how we built our relationship. I remember the last time when you and I went hard together during, it was kind of the refinance boom, because every meeting, because you were at the life insurance aspect of it, you're meeting people nonstop. Where now you get to be more selective. You want the right client, but back then you were meeting with everybody, and you were hitting 40 appointments a week. I mean, it was crazy. And every time he's looking at it and saying, okay, well, hey, you're at 5.5. My mortgage guy's at 2.5. Look at what that savings will do for you, and we can use some of that money to help invest into your future to build a stronger portfolio, right?
Right. And think about this aspect. Anybody who's working with you or anybody who's working with me trusts you to the level where they're working with you.
Yeah.
And words matter. Maybe it's not even necessarily referral, but just an introduction.
Yeah.
You see an opportunity, there's an opportunity there. Hey, I'm going to introduce you to Tom.
Yep.
I think he can help you. Whether you take a meeting or not is up to you, but I've known the guy for 20 years. I trust him. He does work for me. I'm going to introduce you.
Yep. And we've done that a lot. Like we'd go out sometimes. I'd be like, hey, this guy's a little difficult. I kind of know him. It took me a while. How about we go out and play golf together?
Exactly.
Right. Yep. And that was kind of let me not lie completely. It was definitely some work involved, but we have fun too, right? Exactly. I think part of getting to like someone, which is one of the 3 ingredients to growing a referral-based business, you have to put yourself in a position where somebody can like you.
Correct.
If you just show up at my office and try to sell me a product, I inherently don't like you. Right. I mean, I'm not trying to, I get people all the time, or people cold calling me, soliciting. I don't have time for that.
Right.
But when you create environments that allow those 3 components to soak in naturally, you will start to find your success. Now, I've done that through BNI. I've done it through, we have office, sushi parties here that we started doing monthly, where we just invite people that are that can benefit from referral business, that are looking to grow their business, and value organic connections, right? Because to me, I really, especially on the mortgage side of it, I know I'm better than 99.9% of any offer out there. I know it. But some people don't care, right? It's like the cheapest isn't always the best, and sometimes the best isn't always the cheapest. Right. It really comes down to the more you can build organic environments to dive into the 3 values of what grows a self-sustaining referral-based business. People have to know, like, and trust you.
Correct.
And if you're not working on that as part of your business plan on a weekly basis, you're missing out. I would say at that point, one, for you shouldn't be self-employed then, because you're going to fail.
Right.
For a loan officer with me, we don't have marketing, right? I mean, we have a ton of marketing, but it's all like, to me, that's not really the raw business comes from referral business for people that know, like, and trust.
The same thing in my business. You can't throw an ad out there and expect to generate a bunch of clients.
No.
People work with people they're introduced to, people that other people they know trust. And what you said earlier too, know, like, and trust. If you come in and trying to sell a product, they don't know you. Now they don't like you.
Yes.
And they certainly don't trust you.
Absolutely not.
So it sounds like you're working hard and you're getting after it, but you're digging yourself a hole there. Take some time to just step back and build relationships, and that business will come your way.
For you going forward, right, you made a pivot. You now have a really good product offering that, whatever is truly best for the consumer, that's going to help them achieve the goals they want. You have access to it all. Mm-hmm. Tell me, who are you looking for,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we have thankfully, I mean, we've grown to over 1,300 total team members, right? So we have a lot of good people that will be watching this that, even for you, if you do not have a financial advisor that you're working with right now, you're licensed in more. Can you do business outside of Minnesota, or is it just Minnesota at this point?
25 or more states now.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get licensed now that we are, but yeah, we can do business anywhere.
Who is an ideal client for you going forward?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I would take a step back too and chat about why we made the change. You look at any major broker dealer, they all tend to have a department, maybe they call it private client services, whatever it's called, where if you have X amount of dollars, if you have $4 or $5 million in one account, you now get access to their best portfolios, which means that 90+% of their clients do not have access to that. I want access to that for every one of my clients.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we had to go independent, find the right business partners to do that. And now we have access to those types of portfolios for everybody down to a $50,000 account. You could have a $5 million IRA and then you have a Roth over here that's worth 50. Well, I want that invested the same way. What you said earlier I thought was interesting too, because it was real. We came in when I was brand new trying to generate 60 to 80 new clients a year, 40 meetings a week. It was crazy.
Well, it's crazy.
You can't service clients at the level they deserve if you're bringing on 60, 70, 80 clients a year.
Yeah.
My goal now is to bring on 12 or fewer. They need to be the right type. If you have investable assets at $1 million or north, we can probably bring a lot of value your way. If your income is in those top tax brackets, you're feeling the tax pinch. We work a lot of tax efficient strategies, not only now, but how do you save so your retirement income is tax efficient as well? Different tools work different for people in different tax brackets. So household incomes of $500,000 or north, you feel that pinch.
Yeah.
We're here to reduce
definitely
that
do,
for you.
especially if you live in the state of Minnesota, because they add another layer of a 13% state income tax.
One of the
That's
highest tax states in the country.
Yeah, it is. I mean, thankfully, we do have some, there's some pluses with it. We have great schools.
Great weather.
We have amazing parks. We have good bike riding trails. I mean, there are some. I'm trying to justify it myself since I'm here, for at least another 5 years. But if someone wanted to reach out to you, right, what's the best way?
Just give me a ring. Shoot me an email. I mean, everything goes to the same device now, right?
What's your cell phone number, Leif?
612-405-5059.
So I'll tell you, and this is somebody, Leif and I literally have known each other for 20 plus years. We work together. He's handled, granted, when he was at Northwestern Mutual, a lot of it was life insurance. But it did help. And all of a sudden, before I know it, on a lot of the policies that we moved to whole policies, I'm like, wow. A lot of it's you just set it and forget it with some of the things to where it becomes a monthly bill until you finally take a step back and look. And this is what you told me initially. Look at what we can do with this whole life policy to where, hey, if you ever need access to it, you can. And that's part of, to me, for a lot of our younger originators that are coming into the business and making, more money than what you ever dreamed of, you need to have these conversations, right? You need to talk with somebody to, Leif touched on it and said, hey, there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times, but budgeting is a big part of it. The way for me, I have a monthly bill. And I view it that way. Like my investments are viewed as a bill to where every month I have a set amount that goes towards it. And that's
systematize paying yourself first.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So you guys got Leif's phone number. I would encourage you, if you don't have a good financial planner, or maybe you have a great one, but you just want to get a different opinion, look at it just like our industry. If you have a wealth advisor that's with a large corporation, it's similar to retail. There's layers of management. There's, there's add-ons to where when you look at what is the raw cost of what you're getting, part of Leif going the broker side of it and having the independence, he wants to make sure he can give his consumers the very best and make sure that they are getting a product that isn't stepped on by 3 or 4 layers of the overhead, right?
Correct. If you have the agenda of that company? Yep. Are they really in business for you, the client, or are they trying to sell a proprietary product, a proprietary service? Understand that. You really inspired me with brokers are better and going the independent route. I can really truly reduce all those junk fees, if you will. Get it all out of the plan and bring the client exactly what they need and what they want. It's been, we're still fresh in. We just started 2 months ago with the new business. But
well, I mean, the fail rate of most people that start a business is pretty high. but I don't think for you that's an option, right? I know it because
The way you fail is if you quit.
that's it. And it comes down to work ethic, and it's just like things like Leif and are doing right now, coming together, doing a podcast together, creating events together. That's where you continue to build a network, and you don't need to join a formed organization to do it, but it takes effort, right? I mean, to me, would I rather be at home spending time with my daughter and doing some fun activities? 100%. Not that I don't like you.
Right.
But the reality is, like, even when we would go out and we went to the gun range or we went to a lunch or we did something, that takes effort. It takes saying yes, but then you're inviting people, I'm inviting people, and we came together and just had a good time.
Right.
And it's one of those, when I look back on those activities, every one of those clients that we met with, I transacted with. Right? Every one of them.
It tends to work out that way.
And I think, looking back from your end, it was the same
Very
way,
similar.
right? Every time we went out golfing with somebody just to have fun and, like, hey, what do you do? Hey, well, I do financial advisement, and that was it. It wasn't, hey, is it, I think at the end of it, because Leif, he is a hustler. Is it all right if I reach out to you afterwards and we could schedule a meeting and talk about this more?
Exactly.
That's it. You're planting a seed, and it's up to you. If you just plant a seed and leave it there, the seed's probably going to die. You got to water it. You got to pull the weeds out from it. You have to stay front and center to be able to make sure that, okay, wow, this is somebody of high integrity. Man, he is really working hard and calling me nonstop. I'm going to give him the time of day because I do kind of know that I know the guy now. I kind of like him. Maybe I don't trust you yet, but show me what it is of what you have. So to me, that's where the more environment you can create, the more business you're gonna yield in 2024.
Yeah, and I was going to add on something you said earlier. No harm, no foul in just reaching out. If we're not a good fit, we're going to find that out.
Yeah.
But that's a big step, is just get out there, call. I found in my experience with loan officers and being in that industry, a lot of them, by and large, don't plan.
Yeah.
They're flying by the seat of their pants. Sometimes you just have to hire that aspect of your life away. Get someone who you trust, who you like, who you know, that's going to help you put yourself in a different trajectory financially. And if it's not me, I can help introduce you to someone who will.
Yep. Love it. Good. Anything else you want to leave our guests before we wrap today?
Pleasure to be here. Your success here has been inspiring, Tom. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's good. I appreciate your friendship. It's been from the days when you were single and we would have fun to now married with 3 kids. 3?
That's right.
Okay. I thought it was 3. And, help Leif buy his first house. I think because builders sometimes get us. I think the builder got you on the last one with some crazy incentive. But
it's kind of funny, though, and this is, a sales plug for you. I had, you refinanced me when the rates were really low at like 2.6%.
Yeah.
And at the time, you said, Leif, lock this in. This is the lowest rate I've ever seen in my life. So I referred you to a client of mine. I called him up the next week. I said, Tim, how did it go with Tom? He said, it was awesome. I got 2.3. I'm like, what? There you go.
I mean, it was the fun part for both, I think, both on how Leif and I work. When he presented his offer from the builder to me, hey, this is a better deal. Take it, and 6 months later, let's talk, and then we can refinance. They're giving you like $15,000 and closing costs. To me, when you truly care about the people you work with, and it's not transactional, it's a relationship. And we may do, who knows? You may buy 3-4 more houses in your lifetime. Right. And I hope to get a shot. And if I'm the best, I'm going to win. And if I'm not, I care enough about you to be able to, I want you to have the best. And I think when you go into relationships that way, and I know that's how Leif goes into his business on the wealth management side, if there isn't value there to be created, he's not there to sell you on something. He's there to be a true wealth advisor and care more about the relationship and the longevity, because things change. And both you and I, for the most part, even though we're getting older, we're still fairly young, right? I mean, I don't know. I've got 22 years left. A lot of the people that are working with financial advisors, a lot of them retire. Right. And then you just get passed on to a legacy account, I think would be the correct way it's said. Even when you left Northwestern Mutual, the guy called me and hey, no, I'm not trying to be mean, but I didn't work with Northwestern Mutual. I worked with Leif Briel. Right. And it's the same thing for the mortgage. If you think that making a change is going to affect your reputation, you're wrong, because nobody cares what company you work for. They care about you. You just need to be able to bet on yourself and know that you need to be able to serve with 100% sincerity, that you have the best in mind for your clients, and your business will continue
That's
to grow.
it.
So,
They will see that.
Leif, thank you again. I appreciate your time today. Appreciate your friendship. Wishing you just an awesome 2024, and can't wait to do a follow-up in a year from now and see how the successes went for you in growing your business.
Let's do it.
Thank you, everyone.